It's a championship Sunday north of the border. The CPKC Women's Open, the 50th edition. First time played at Earl Grey Golf Club in Calgary, Alberta. It is a bit of a two-horse race with Head On You leading Lauren Coughlin by 2 as they play the 7th. Grant Boone and Morgan Pressel, and Coughlin has missed another fairway.
Second fairway in a row. She paid for it on the last hole. Made bogey on 6, but look at this.
Temperatures around 80 degrees. The conditions today, scoring conditions, not quite as favorable as we saw yesterday when Japan's Mao Saigo shot a 61, the all-time tournament record.
Okay. Yeah, just a little one.
Head On You, last year's Rookie of the Year, is
edge.
also off the fairway.
Okay.
Here at the 7th, we say hello to Trip Eisenhower.
Yeah, good afternoon, Grant, and we have Kay Cockrell on the ground. And Kay, this is a tough fairway to hit, easy to run through on the left, and both players here have.
It sure is. This fairway tilts right to left, and a little bit of breeze has started to pick up out of the west, blowing right to left as well. Head On has a decent lie. It's not terrible. 9-iron in hand.
Trip, to your point, only 33% of this field has hit this fairway in regulation today.
And there you can see the penalty of the rough. It has been trouble all week long. You need to play from the short grass.
I think so.
And that's what the players that are atop that leaderboard have been doing with regularity so far in the CPKC Women's Open.
NBC Sports and the LPGA Tour proudly present the season-long race to the CME Globe. From Calgary, Alberta, Canada, it's final round coverage of the CPKC Women's Open. Here just a few minutes from downtown Calgary along the shores of the Glenmore Reservoir, Earl Grey Golf Club opened a little over 100 years ago, hosting this great championship for the very first time. And that trophy has been hoisted by some of the greatest in the game. And at the par 3 17th, they are fired up. Canadian Elena Sharp, not the first time she's put on a hockey sweater, got the Calgary Flames represented there. Biggest build-out they've ever had in the 50 years of this championship, which for more than 2 decades was a major on the LPGA schedule. And what we have are a couple of players atop the lead. LPGA event, and then you've got players just trying to keep this from becoming a 2-horse race trip.
Yeah, well, it looks like that right now. Jennifer Kupcho, well, she's been hot and cold this week. She's had a lot of firepower, but she's had some steps back as well.
Rosang is one of those tied for 3rd, headed to the Olympic Games here in a few days to represent the U.S. in Paris. Rose with a 66 yesterday to give herself at least an outside chance to the 7th.
And hey, Ron, you with the fortunate here, Kay didn't roll into that high rough, and you'll see a lot of players doing just this, putting through these fringes.
Yeah, this is a severe downhill putt, however, and she has a little diagonal roll or wave that she has to negotiate as well.
Well, she did not do her best at that. She missed the side of it that she needed to be on, and she's going to have to rely on that putter that was red hot yesterday to save her there. And now Lilia Vu. Well, what a story this year she's been. Had a back injury, couldn't defend her Chevron championship, but came back winning in her first tournament back. She said she was even surprised. Down the hill very fast here at the end, Morgan.
Anything above that 9th hole, especially that front hole location today, exceptionally fast.
One of the best putters in the game. I love watching her roll it. Her speed control usually so good. And let's jump back a couple. What's Coughlin got for birdie, Kay?
A much easier birdie effort. She's kept it somewhat below the hole. It'll have a little bit of left to right movement, but overall she can be fairly aggressive with this. And Tripp, I was wondering how these two would come out today. They played such exceptionally high level of golf throughout the day yesterday. At this point yesterday, they had made 9 birdies between the two of them, only 2 so far today.
Yeah, they were definitely, whatever one did, the other one just followed. It was impressive. Good effort there. Should lead to a par. Let's jump up to 14.
Coughlin would love to continue this trend of CPKC winners being first-time LPGA winners like Paula Rito back in 2022. That's for Eagle at the par 5. Moved up again today. Could see some fireworks.
3rd eagle of the day so far.
Head-on made Eagle there yesterday to take the lead.
And now back at the 7th. Heyron. Okay, she's been pretty good from this distance all week.
She has been, although I would say this has a lower percentage chance of making it because it's got a little speed to it, putting from slightly on the high side and has some right to left break. So she really has to meld together nicely that break and speed.
And these greens have just been ideal all week long. Very fast and firm. Oh, it gets in her. She's not done. It's got a little bit left on it there for sure.
All right, so Yu is going to drop at least 1. This was a moment ago Rose to pick up a shot.
Pit Speedy putting back down towards this whole location. Gotta play some aggressive golf. It's hard to do on this golf course because you can get called out pretty quickly by a couple poor swings, but just trying to catch up with Head-On and Lauren here.
And Kay, this is needs her full attention, I would say.
It sure does, and you can start to feel just a little bit sense of nerviness or a little bit rattled when you blow a putt well by.
She was doing that a little bit yesterday as well, Kay, towards the end of the round. Started to get a bit aggressive with the flat stick.
Well, like you said, Morgan, that aggressiveness is an aspect that you like and want to see in a player, but there's times where with these downhill putts you just have to be a little gentle.
Now Coughlin spent some time with Dr. Bob Rotella recently, so he's big into process and forgetting about results and just let yourself do what you need to do. And boy, she's been doing it so far, Kay.
She has doing a really good job of staying in the present.
And there you see, we're back to 1. It's a 2-person race here in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. What a scene we have, and 2 players trying to win the CPKC.
Today's coverage is brought to you by CPKC, proud title sponsor of Canada's National Open, the CPKC Women's Open, celebrating its 50th play. By CME Group, where risk meets opportunity. And by Skechers. Try hands-free Go Golf Skechers slip-ins. Just step in without bending down. On the tee at the 8th, now one back again, Lauren Coughlin.
Short par 4 that requires precision off the tee versus length, going with a hybrid.
No need to take on too much. Fairway bunker cuts in a little bit on the right, slopes out, runs out on the left.
And we'll jump up to the 9th. This is Saigo. Great round yesterday, kind of stuck in neutral today. Let's check out this shot with our top tracer technology presented by Progressive Insurance.
It is, Tripp. So hard to follow up a round like that, isn't it? Man, 61. But look at this.
We almost were buying drinks.
Well, Hate on You has actually made a couple of nice putts that were not tap-ins for a par and a bogey to stay up by 1.
And that was just a long iron by Hayden.
Well, it is great to have you with us here for the final round of the CPKC Women's Open. And the white hat in Calgary is a symbol of the city's hospitality. It comes from the Calgary Stampede, which was just a couple of weeks ago. Morgan, first time that this great championship has been back to Calgary in 8 years. It's been a great week, and we are in for what could be a great finish today.
That's our first look this week at this golf club, Earl Grey, and boy, has it been a tough test for the players. Yesterday, gave up a few lower scores, but still, it was no bargain. And what it has done is it has put some of the best ball strikers in the world at the very, very top of this leaderboard. And they put on a show for us yesterday and are continuing to do that again today. It's been a little bit tougher to play today, but they have gone back and forth and made some really clutch putts and clutch shots already in this final round.
How about the mindset for these two players in the final pair? Hate on You has a victory, but she's also lost a couple of chances to win late on Sunday. Lauren Coughlin has not yet won on the LPGA Tour, but she has also given herself some great looks late on Sundays this year.
Yeah, I've talked to Lauren's coach, John Llewellyn. He said she is relishing this chance to pick up her first victory. And Hayden has been so mature. She's coming off her best finish of the season, nearly winning last week at the Dana Open. Certainly a close call, a top 5 at the Evian Championship. So she's coming off some really solid golf. And you feel like it's only a matter of time, truly, for both of these players playing some of the best golf that we've seen.
We have back-to-back par 5s, and one player, Benedetta Moresco of Italy, has eagled both. So don't go anywhere. This should be fun. Maybe somebody else can make a move from back in the pack, like Rose Zhang or Kupcho or Saigo. This is Hate on You, up 1 at the 8th.
With a sandwich in her hand from 95 yards. It's just a matter of how close can she hit it.
That was a lot of what we saw yesterday, where both players throwing darts, one after the other, answering each other's call. It's been a little bit of a different story today, Kay, but still just as impressive.
So it's right there. Yep. I'd go right at him.
Yep.
Okay.
Lauren with a lob wedge, 85 yards. Yesterday she had 83 yards for her second shot, so very similar. Although yesterday's hole location was up on the top level, this much easier and more accessible.
Okay. Right there. Right there.
Well, it has a little bit of a match play feel, and Lauren Coughlin is going to have a chance to go first at the 8th for birdie. It's Hate on You, last year's Rookie of the Year, leading the veteran Coughlin by 1. Birdie putts for the final pair at the 8th, Coughlin first.
Yeah, this putt has 2 to 3 inches right to left break, and she never got that on the right start line.
Well, she's missed a short one for birdie. She's made one twice that long or more for bogey. She'll settle for a par there. Look at our insights by KPMG. We've had 23 first-time winners the previous 2 seasons, just 2 this year. The American Bailey Tardy and Linnea Strom of Sweden, who shot 60 in the final round to win the ShopRite LPGA Classic. Lauren Coughlin or Saigo would love to become the latest to the 9th.
Yeah, she beautiful shot in here. See if she can pay it off for her second birdie of the day to get under par for the day. And there you go, a rare birdie at 9.
And back at the 8th, this for a 2-shot lead.
Both of these players are very good at bouncing back from a bogey with a birdie. Similar line that Coughlin had.
She kept that putter low to the ground, worked through the putt. That was beautiful. Kept the ball on the line.
Yeah.
As I said, we saw that a lot yesterday. She made 118 feet of putts en route to that 8-under round of par yesterday.
Up at the 18th, Elena Sharp vying for low Canadian honors. Saw her with the Calgary Flames sweater earlier. Oh, yeah, lights the lamp at the 18th. She's headed to Paris to compete for Canada, the Olympic Games. Low Canadian, by the way, gets one of those white hats. So does the low amateur. That's going to be Anna Davis. And the champion and the caddy also get the white hat as well.
And we're at the 19 now, this par 3. 3 par 3s on this front side. The routing is different than the members, but I'd say this is probably the hardest one to get it close, Kay. Would you say that?
Yeah, I think because you're hitting off a little elevated tee, and this is a very shallow green, only 17, 18 paces deep. And right now, that wind that's trying to pick up, it feels like it's trying to change directions. It's adding a little confusion to being supremely confident with the club selection.
Yeah, most of the week it's been down from the left when we've had wind, which has complicated this hole as well.
A little one right now. If it stays like this, just a little 7. If it changes, I'm going to stop you, okay? Just a little on the left side of the hole. Okay?
Might be a little paranoid because of yesterday. They took the wrong club, took an 8-iron yesterday and flew it long into the back left bunker. She's got a 7-iron out right now, which I think is plenty of club.
I think that might be too much.
I do think so. I think they did say 7-iron, didn't they?
They did.
Yeah.
I said just a little one.
Yeah, I'd be happier if she had an 8.
She's had a bit of a mixed bag. Did have a hole-in-one here in the Pro-Am on Wednesday. This left.
Well, that was just about the right distance.
Yeah, had the distance, just didn't have the direction as much as she wanted, but aimed it right at the spine. There's a spine right in the middle of this green, and normally that ball would feed a little bit more right, but stayed right up there. Now, Coughlin, look at this. Par 3s. How about that number? You hardly ever see that number. 7 under, Morgan, on the par 3s this week.
It is. It's truly remarkable. I mean, it just shows her ball striking, her iron play has been, and I mean, I think about the one on the 5th hole, okay? It was only a kick-in, too.
Yeah, those are always nice bonuses. But, yeah, her iron play is great. Head-on hits it farther off the tee, but they're pretty equal in distance with irons. Lauren going with an 8-iron.
And that is our top tracer technology presented by Progressive Insurance, and that is no bueno. That's all going to depend on the lie. And we'll see what coming up as we're getting to the halfway point here in the final round. And we're back at 9. Coughlin, all depends on the lie, Kay.
Yep, lie's not bad. Chipping down grain with the grass.
Oh, my. Wow.
How did that not go in?
That was exceptional right there. Well, she's going to stay 7 under on the par 3s this week, and she's only got 1 left, so could possibly get to, well, she could get to 9. Never know. Hole-in-one at the rink hole, that'd be a good way to go out, wouldn't it?
Well, there has only been 1 birdie so far today on the rank holes.
Well, there you go.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one.
That's exceptional there. That's the kind of stuff you got to do to win tournaments.
I mean, and this just, she just kind of chops down on it, hits it like a bunker shot when you have that unpredictable lie. Talked about that a little yesterday. I mean, from her angle there, that had to look so good. I'm not sure how that didn't catch that left edge.
Yeah, that's. And one thing about this green, Kay, is most of these have a Poana mix in them, and this is all bent. This one in the 16th are pure bent surfaces, so a little bit different than these players are seeing for the other 16 holes.
And so stays smoother at this point later in the day, where Poana tends to start growing a little bit.
Well, Hayron is no slouch on the par 3. She's -3 on him this week, and in fact, #1 on the LPGA Tour this season. When you're #1 in par 3 scoring, that means your iron play is exceptional.
Yeah, that correlates to her being #1 in greens hit in regulation. This is a tricky putt. A fair bit of left to right movement initially, then it might try to flatten out a little.
Those are 2 good looks at 2 right there at the 9th. You can see why these 2 are, I think, going to have one heck of a battle. We got, I'd say the advantage would be Hayron Yu at this point just because of the par 5s, but Lauren has just been so just persistent all week long. I'm kind of smelling playoff. I'm kind of smelling that right now. I don't know, though. We got a little bit of golf left, so we'll see.
She has been really gritty, Lauren. It's been a great battle the last 2 days.
All right, good memories here for Mao Saigo. Second shot at 10.
Can she repeat? Dunked it yesterday.
Settles for a 5.5 footer. She was having a good day when she got to the 10th. She was 4 under. I mean, that's really good. And then it got even better. The rookie from Japan, just 22 years old, leading the Louis Suggs Rolex Rookie of the Year race. A hopper for Eagle. And when she got to the 18th, she needed a hole, her second, to shoot 59. Just missed it. 2-putted for a 61. The best score in the 50 years of this championship. Right, here is Canada's greatest champion, Brooke Henderson, for an eagle at the 14th.
And with that fabulous finish from Elena, now tied with Brooke. Well, Brooke will make that birdie there to sneak one ahead for low Canadian honors.
Both heading to Paris. Yeah, 2-putt birdie for Brooke. Just hasn't quite been able to get anything going this week. She'll get on a little run, then give a few back. But it doesn't matter what she's shooting. The Brooke Brigade is ready at the 16th. And there is no golfer, maybe no athlete in the world more beloved by their country than Brooke Henderson and the Canadians. Well, they played together yesterday. Both were outstanding. It was Coughlin up 1 when the third round started. Hayron Yu leading it by 1 today, now up 2. And you see how it's gone on the back 9 with Hayron the advantage. Lauren Coughlin trying to turn it around.
Well, and they've been so similar in many aspects of the game with regards to fairways hit, greens, their putting. They've been right within a shot or 2 of each other.
That's going to stay in the fairway.
This is a really tough stretch here. 9, 10, and 11. 9 and 10 right now, playing tied for the 3rd toughest hole. 11 is the hardest hole on the golf course. So job number 1 done for Lauren. Now it's Hayron's turn to find the fairway here, okay?
Morgan, the way they were going back and forth and having birdies on top of one another yesterday, it was really an exciting dynamic, and we likened it to match play. And when I looked at their scorecards, I would have put Hayron winning that match by 2 up.
It was I was impressed the way that both players really hung tough and played, especially there was an opportunity for Hedon to take a fairly big lead after 15th hole. It didn't materialize because of a really solid putt Lauren made to save par. This heading up the right, Kay?
Yeah, trying to draw, but it kicked a bit right.
And that's going to nestle down. I mean, one of the tough things about these couple holes, less than half the field hitting the fairway, only 40% hitting the green, and then Mouse Saigo making this hole look like a piece of cake.
Yeah, and she's trying to go 2-3 on the weekend here. And look out, with you off the fairway in the rough, Saigo gets to within 4. Trying to back up that 61 with another sensational round and win for the very first time in this her rookie season on the LPGA Tour.
And that is Lilia Vu. She's at the 11th. This hole all the way in the back left. So far today, she is trying to get back to even par. She's 1 over for the day, and what a beautiful shot in and pays it off at the difficult 11th. The birdies are rare there, but Lilia grabs one, and we're back to even par.
Right back at the 10th, hit on you up 2. She's missed the fairway. Kay, what have you seen?
I'm 31. Yeah, no wind, no breeze right now. Good.
Well, Hedon has been averaging 293 yards with the driver, but when you hit it offline, this heavy rough just stops any forward movement. So she has 173 yards to the hole today. Yesterday, just 110. Gonna try to dig it out with an 8-iron, gouge it out, and allow for the hit and release.
Be a complete guessing game when you're in a lie like that. But they guessed nearly to perfection. Fabulous shot.
All right, from the fairway now, Coughlin.
Pretty much right at it. So you can see these cut down. You're thinking 30. Okay, 30 carry with the 9.
Yeah, these greens have definitely firmed up since yesterday. It's much warmer today as well. Ball flying farther. 145 to the hole, but they're playing for 130 to land this 9-iron.
Greens definitely are a little bit bouncier today. Have to take that into consideration. Got under that just a little bit, but not bad for distance control.
But she's actually going to be out, even though you was in that thick rough. Lydia Ko with her 3rd at the par 5 14th. 3-time winner of this event.
We all kind of thought that maybe this would be a ceremonial Hall of Fame weekend for Lydia Ko, kind of where her career began here in Canada, but not to be. Still, good showing.
She's moved into the top 10 with her day today. You leading it by 2. Saigo right there. She was 4 under on the front yesterday and shot 7 under par 30 coming in, part of that 61. Scores have been a bit higher today, Morgan.
Yeah, quite a few different reasons. One, it's a little bit warmer, so I think that's firmed the greens up a touch. Yesterday, we had some rain that came through in the morning. Not a ton, not enough to make a massive difference, but enough to soften the greens just a little bit. And we had cloud cover all day as well, which kept the moisture in the ground a little bit longer. It's why we saw a few lower scores. Today, lowest score so far, 5 under. I don't believe that's finished in the clubhouse. I see Allison Lee on the board at 5 under right now.
68, the lowest turned in.
So it's still, I mean, that was just like the first 2 days, and it's because of the firmness of the greens. And the fairways have firmed up as well, so that makes them a bit tighter, much easier to run out into this thick rough that we've talked about.
Lydia says she feels like an honorary Canadian because of how this country has welcomed her with her 3 victories, 2 of them as an amateur. She decked out Canadian colors this weekend, and now into a tie for 5th. Who wouldn't want to claim Lydia? Born in Korea, grew up in New Zealand. All right, back at the 10th, and Lauren Coughlin is going to go first.
And Morgan, simply by the length of this putt, number one, it's a 30-footer, maybe just outside of 30 feet. And then the fact there's a little subtle incline, then decline, and as soon as you get to the hole, from her perspective, it really starts sloping away. So I think she needs to be a little cautious and conservative with this putt.
Yeah, she's had fairly good speed from this range all week from what we've seen in our coverage. It's this putter that she even talked about when she was here in the booth after her first round on Thursday. Picked it up in Phoenix, put it in the bag, and that has been a huge difference maker, confidence builder for her. And you've just seen that confidence build week after week. But wow, Kay, good call.
Yeah, it's... You have to, there's certain times where you just have to putt defensively and take an easy 2-putt, walk off the hole, and other times to be aggressive.
It's like she never saw that break. That was very interesting.
15.
And here's Brooke Henderson going for this par 5, the second of 2 in a row, coming off a birdie at the 14th in position A right here. Morgan to attack.
Both of these par 5s today are really opportunities to make up ground, both playing almost a half stroke under par.
And I think this hole in the back right of this green is the easiest of all the 4 hole locations. So we're going to see some 3s and 4s possibly there. Let's jump back to 10.
And this could really dramatically change this event, these next few minutes. You for birdie.
Only 12 feet away, and it's slightly uphill, so she can be plenty aggressive.
They're loving the rink hole, not far away at the 17th.
Sounds like it's just right 10 yards away.
All right, Gemma Dryburgh, not from a hockey hotbed, Aberdeen, Scotland, but let's see what she does here at the par 3. A moment ago.
You can probably guess from the sounds on that 10th hole what happened. Look at this shot. Wow, kick in for only the second birdie of the day. That has been nearly an impossible hole location to get close to.
All right, back at the 10th. The longest putt Lauren Coughlin has made today was for bogey. That was actually back at the 6th. She's got this for par.
This is just outside of 6 feet. Similar line to what Hayden just had.
I think those were the two worst strokes that we've seen her make here, Kay, on this green. Not the best first putt, and that was a touch of a pull there. Really just kind of giving a shot away there and a very poor time.
So you in the rough, Coughlin in the fairway, but it's Coughlin who drops a shot. Back at the rink hole, and Paula Rito.
Here she is on the, see the tracer here going after that back left hole location, and oh yeah, there you go. You know what, maybe they should give the ice resurfacing machine out for a hole-in-one. What do you think?
Go check it out.
All right, let's do it. A lot of excitement flying around here in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Stick around.
Well, this is the 50th playing of the CPKC Women's Open going back to 1973. So many of the greats in women's golf have won here. Joanne Carter back in 1975. Michelle Wee West in 2010 hosted the CPKC Women's Open Trophy, and we'll never forget. Canada certainly won't. Brooke Henderson in the rain in Regina 6 years ago. It's our pleasure to welcome to the booth Keith Creel, the president and CEO of CPKC. Keith, it's great to see you and your team. I know Calgary is a special place for CPKC. How's the week been being back here?
You know what? It's been an amazing week, especially being in our hometown.
Yeah.
Calgary's home to the world headquarters of CPKC, a three-nation network that we've got about 2,000 people here in this city that call this beautiful place home. So to see the success of the tournament, so much has changed. We were here last in 2016 in Britis. The company's grown, Calgary's grown, and this tournament, the success and impact of this tournament has grown.
CPKC took over title sponsorship of this event back in 2013. It just keeps getting bigger and better, and I know there is such an emphasis on local children's cardiology hospitals. Why is that important?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, listen. Heart health affects all of us.
Yeah.
It's certainly undeniable, and we as railroaders love to give back and make impact, make legacy for our community. So that vehicle through CPKC Has Heart literally over the last decade has raised over $41 million coming into this tournament, 19 of which specifically is committed to children's heart health and cardiac units across the communities we serve. And I'll tell you, this morning we set a record in Calgary. I'm proud to say that we were able to donate an additional $3.2 million check to the Alberta Children's Hospital Foundation, which is a record again for this company and for Calgary. And thanks to all those great Calgarians that help us achieve that success.
They have rolled out the red carpet for us, I know, and $5,000 for every birdie at that 14th and $10,000 for eagles. So let's see a few more of those. Great to see you, Keith.
Thank you so much.
Keith Creel, the president and CEO of CPKC. Couldn't do it without them. All right, get you out to the 11th as the train whistle blares in the background.
That's the 4th for Saigo, so trying to save par here, and you know what? She's lurking, so you're saying there's a chance.
We're saying it.
Wow.
When you shoot 61.
Yeah, 2 par 5s in front of her.
Absolutely.
Now up to the 15th. A pretty pedestrian bunker shot from Brooke Henderson. Let's see if she can make up for it with a great putt. And now we go back to the 11th. Second shot for you.
Not a bad place to end up. Good clean lie in the bunker, but this, a pull with
a
hook.
Oh, there's nothing good left of that whole location. And
wow,
that opens the door.
I mean, this was wild here. I know she likes to hit a bit of a fade, and that's kind of the shot you want to try and play from a bunker. She looks very flat-footed through, maybe just a little release of the right hand, and didn't keep it firm through the shot.
I tell you what, Kay, hitting this fairway, and now with door open for Coughlin.
Completely. That was a total shock to see that shot out of head-on, because she had a good lie in the bunker. This a perfect lie, 8-iron in hand. 158 all the way back to that back left hole location, and she's having no part of the left-hand side.
Yeah.
Not after you just watch that.
I just think that she's got to start thinking, I've got to start playing some offense here. She seems to be playing a little too tentative and a little too careful. At this point, doors open for her. Let's see if she can walk through it. All right, we're back, and she has taken relief from the penalty area, Kay, and she's got her hands full here.
She does. I mean, this is not going to be an easy fourth shot. She just dropped into the rough, hitting out of the rough to an awkward angle where the pond sort of sits at a diagonal and cuts into the potential landing area to get back to this back left hole location. I think she's going to have to air it out a little bit to the right, and when it hits, it most likely is going to have some overspin.
Take a look at our insights by KPMG about just how brilliantly Head On You has played, but looking to kind of finish one of these high showings off with a victory. Most top tens without a win this year.
Yeah, it goes right to left, so keep it maybe a little right on the number 11. It should come back a little right to left. Okay? Yeah, to you, 32.
She's handled some adversity, Kay, the last couple of days very well and rebounded nicely, but those were simply 3 putts, nothing quite this shocking to the system.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see how she recovers. both physically and emotionally. And that needs to get up.
Oh, boy. That's not going to stay on the green. And does it get against the collar? And yes, it does. Oh, my. And things are going from bad to worse real quick here for our leader.
Thinking about that stat trip, last week she made a big comeback to tie the lead and then immediately bogeyed after she had made up a 5-shot deficit. So now, hate on you scrambling.
And speaking of scrambling, this is Lydia Ko here at the 15th. This is her 4th shot. Boy, what a, look, I think we all agree, Morgan, it's not when, or not if, it's when she gets that extra point that she's going to need. But I think an incredible thing, Hall of Fame obviously that's in her future, but if she were to get the gold, to have a gold, silver, and a bronze, that's a sweep that I don't think many people would ever be able to accomplish.
She talked about that the other day in a feature that we showed, that she's like, I don't even think I could have dreamed that up. I would feel like Cinderella. she said, just truly a dream.
I love this right here. When you have the fringe there, she's going to have to come down steep, so she's got all her weight left. Now watch. She'll pick this club up real quick and just pop it down on the back of the ball.
She is choked way up on that, too,
yep.
Tripp.
Look at that.
Shot.
And then it rolled out just like a putt. Man, I want to go to short game school taught by Lydia Ko.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one.
All right. This is a moment ago. This is Coughlin at the 11th.
Yeah, another very speedy putt. Everything moving down towards the water. And how about this adjustment in speed from the last hole to this?
There you go. Now, she needed that. She did not need to put the pressure back on you. And now this is the 5th for you.
Yeah, this is not sitting well. Questionable how it's going to come out.
Well, she's hit some brilliant pitches this week. And you can see that run out that Kay was talking about as it runs to the left. So we've got a fun-filled one left for 6.
And we're saying Saigo has a chance. We've agreed with you dropping at least 2. Here's Saigo's second at the 12th. That looked really good for a long time, and it still is going to be a great look for birdie for her to get to 11 under. She could be tied for the lead here shortly.
Very shortly, actually, Kay. This is not an easy putt. It's got a lot of break to the right, doesn't it?
Yeah, it'll have some pull to the right. It's a solid 6 feet. And as we know, every foot further away from the hole, that make percentage goes lower. And she's got the additional challenge of dealing with kind of the shock that she's going through right now from that second shot 10 minutes ago. She really needs to find her center, just try not to think about what this means and just try to hold this putt.
Almost kind of like she was moving nothing on the green there, just to kind of even give herself another couple seconds to regroup, because it can start to spiral out of control. She has shown such maturity this week in handling adversity.
There we go. That was a big putt right there. She goes on to win this tournament. I think she's going to, even though it was a double bogey, she's going to look at that putt as be the one that gets her over the edge.
Well, I love a reaction with kind of her tongue sticking out, thinking, well, okay, well, that was just crazy. What did I just do there?
All right, now, Coughlin should just be a formality, but got to go through the process. All right, now we got ourselves a absolute battle. A lot of great golf ahead.
Lauren Coughlin back down just 1 on the tee at the 12th.
Oh, this is a gorgeous shot right down the center stripe. It's 2 really good fairways hit in a row, actually 3.
They both missed this tee shot to the right yesterday.
Yeah, and they both hit incredible shots and then 3-putt. See if Head-On can maintain some good rhythm.
She's looking at it anxiously.
Yeah, that's just catching that right rough, and you know that first pace of rough is thick.
That's 2 tee shots in a row she's missed to the right.
Just a moment ago at 16, the second for Brooke Henderson. Okay, that'll take her to 4 under par today. And if they needed any encouragement to get fired up at the rink, the 17th, they're going to have it after another Brooke birdie. Saigo, this to get within 1. She was 46th entering the weekend, but she is in contention here. Brooke Henderson not in contention. Morgan kind of called this week a microcosm of her season.
Yeah, she's shown some really solid golf, but not in a consistent string of 4 days. And I think that Friday afternoon, 4 straight bogeys to end her round really hurt just even her psyche. But gave the Brooke Brigade something to cheer about here on 16. And are they going to be excited to see? I wonder if they'll sing "Oh Canada" again, as they did on Friday afternoon.
It was a special moment. After she'd made bogey, look, there she is. Some low fives to some of the fans there. Such a big stretch for Brooke. She came off the Evian Championship, where she's past champ here, the event that means the most to her, now about to head to the Olympics again. Solo. Yeah, we know. What's not to love?
And it's mutual. She loves playing here, loves playing in front of the hometown or home country fans. And it's kind of fun to watch. When I was watching her interact on Wednesday with a lot of fans after her Pro-Am, just even her enjoyment, soaking it all in. That means so much to her.
She is one of our recent champions at this event. Megan Kang got that long-awaited first victory. Same for Paula Rito in Ottawa a couple of years ago. Didn't have it because of COVID in 2020 and 2021. Jin Young Ko did not make a bogey in 2019 when she won here. Brooke in Regina, Saskatchewan. Sun Yun Park. That was her second national championship of the summer. She won the U.S. Women's Open in New Jersey. And here they are, everybody trying to get a look at this national treasure. Right back at the 12th, and Head On You.
Not a full hard one, but almost full. Okay, on the left side.
It's interesting because in our hole location sheet, it shows, Morgan, that the hole is on the left-hand side of the screen, but the hole's actually 25 on 4 from the right. And they may have had a note up on the tee box for that change. It makes this shot really hard. She can't go at the flag. The green slopes right to left over there. So playing safe to the left.
Just settles into the thick rough. That's going to be a difficult pitch. She's got a lot of green to work with there.
17.
And yes.
think that rendition brought to you by Molson's, perhaps?
Yes, indeed. They love Brooke Henderson, and why wouldn't you? I think she's probably got Low Canadian wrapped up at this point. But it still means a lot to her, of course. Only 3 birdies so far on this hole. And it would be complete pandemonium if Brooke Henderson were to knock one in close. Or let's go out on a limb, say she knocks it in. This hole in the back, Morgan, so hard to get it in that little area where the hole's cut in that back left area.
Yeah, there's only, the shelf's probably about 7 paces wide back in that left corner. It's why we've only seen 3 birdies today on this hole. Only half the field hitting the green in regulation, less than half the field. It's leaking a little right.
Yeah, that's going to keep feeding right, and just as long as it doesn't get up against that grass, there you go. She'll be able to hit a putter from there, but that is a tough hole to get close to 12.
And one shot back a moment ago, Lauren Coughlin.
Perfect time to get back into aggressive mode with this sand wedge.
That looked like one of her best swings we've seen in a while. Really balanced on her finish. Big opportunity to make a putt here for Lauren.
Maybe a swing in the lead as we go back to 17.
Cheyenne Knight playing alongside Henderson. She's up and out of that one a little early. That's going to be to the right, and yeah, that's going to be on the green, but not her best effort.
Have a third here for Hate on You at the 12th.
Not sitting too badly in the rough, just off the fringe. Plenty of green to work with.
Yeah, not bad. She made that look pretty easy. You really have to commit at how much that's going to release out. Kind of just got under it just a fraction.
Mr. Coughlin with a chance to tie in a moment, first to 13.
Yeah, this is Saigo with her second shot from that rough on the left-hand side, not in the bunker. And you can see the effect of that rough running out. That's well judged right there, though. That's acceptable when you miss that fairway at 13. Let's jump back to the 12th.
And a second straight Sunday for Lauren Coughlin, going back to the Moody Evian Championship, in which she has had a chance to win for the first time. And another huge tournament, this to tie the lead.
And a big moment to make a birdie. She's only made 1 birdie today. That came at the 5th. This putt might trail right as it loses speed.
Looks like she's playing it to break almost to the left here.
You still with some work for par.
I don't love leaving a putt like that short in this situation.
Does it tell you anything?
Just a little tentative. You know, she's still chasing. Hayden gave her a little bit of a gift there on the 11th hole, and it's time to take advantage, not be tentative.
Putting numbers have improved drastically this season for Lauren Coughlin. Not a coincidence as to why she's having her best season by far. But Sundays are a different story for everyone. Now Hate on You to stay in front by 1.
Hate on also has really improved her putting with her work with Chris Cho in Vegas. And there's nothing like just having a little something that sparks a whole change on the green and that you can't wait to hit the next putt.
She is struggling to find fairways on the back 9, but escapes with a par to stay in front by 1.
And we're on the tee at 13. This is Coughlin, less than driver, Kay.
Yeah, did a nice job of hitting this fairway with a fairway wood yesterday. but this going a little bit left. The left side of this fairway slopes right to left.
Yeah, it does. And no. All right, let's jump back up to the 17th. We saw the tee shot of Brooke over to the right. Shouldn't have any effect of that rough behind her. That just got going left quick, and that's going to leave about 4.5 feet left for her par. Now back at the 13th, you with iron on the tee.
Yeah, most likely a 4 or 5 iron. And this is a good play because even if it draws a little, it won't have the energy to get through the fairway.
Yeah, that fairway does slope quite a bit. You can see that ball continues to run out. And now Henderson. She is leaving the flagstick in on the very short ones. It's really kind of hit and miss, Morgan, when she does the flagstick now.
Yeah, it used to be. It was all the time for a while. Then earlier this season started to putt with the flagstick out. Now I think it's just whatever she feels when she looks over the putt. She tinkers with that almost as much as she keeps changing putters and changing grips. And you know, when you're searching for that little thing, that's what you do.
All right, this is Saigo at the 13th. We saw that really nice played shot out of the rough to here, and this to get within one. And the putter was red hot yesterday, cooled off just a bit, but that's a par there for Saigo. But she's hanging around. She's got 2 par 5s left, and there's Canada's great champion.
Today's coverage is brought to you by CPKC, proud title sponsor of Canada's National Open, the CPKC Women's Open, celebrating its 50th play. And by Win Grips, the best grips in golf.
All right, second shot for you at 13.
Out of the first cut of rough, cannot see the surface of the green. That's an 8 iron. Launched it high, nice and soft looking.
Yeah, her eyes were going right up and down. That means the ball's going right up and down the flagstick, and just a little short, but that's a nice shot.
Jenny Shen has had a nice weekend. Veteran from Korea, USGA champion from nearly 20 years ago. Rolls that one in to get to 7 under, and she moves into a tie for 4th.
Now Coughlin's second shot, Kay.
It's in the primary rough, but relatively a good lie. Going at it with a wedge, just trying to hit the front number.
And I think Morgan's point was exactly right. I mean, she looks too tentative. I think she's got to really start saying, I want this tournament, and I'm going to play aggressively from here on in. And now the 17th, Lydia Ko. So tough to get it along this ridge. There's a ridge that runs right down the middle of this green, and so many of these players run it just like that right there. It's a common spot.
Well, this is such a busy part of the LPGA schedule, crisscrossing really the Western Hemisphere. And we'll take a look at the upcoming schedule. We've come back from the Moody Evian Championship a couple of weeks ago. Portland next week, and then off to the Olympic Games in Paris, and then to the Women's Scottish Open, and then the Old Course at St. Andrews for the final major championship of the year, AIG Women's Open, and then a new event in the Boston area, the FM Global Championship, the following week.
All right, back at the 13th green, and I mean, Kay, are you seeing any signs of nerves, or is she just not, hitting on all cylinders, Coughlin?
I think it's the latter. She seems pretty relaxed in between shots, kind of laughing off mistakes that she's made or not converting a putt. But then she gets right into focus when she's over the shot and discussing things with Terry. I think she's fully engaged. It's just, just being a little bit off, and she's had too many of these putts in a 30-35 foot range versus inside of 15 feet.
Yeah, exactly. And the one she has had inside 15 feet, she just kind of misread.
Yeah, and sometimes when those are more rare, you tend to want them so badly you try too hard.
That's a great point. What is this putt doing?
Well, overall, it's gently uphill. Maybe a little bit of right to left movement as this green tilts from back to front.
That one looks to be about on the right line right there. She had the line, just lacked a little bit of enthusiasm.
You're not going to be too disappointed leaving that one just a fraction short. Not quite the same as the one on the previous hole, but that was the best looking stroke that we've seen from her in a while. That was a good roll.
The key for her is going to be 14 and 15. I think she's got to walk to 16T at least 13 under to have a chance to win this golf tournament, because I don't think Yu's going to let those get by her as well.
No, and it seems like Head-On has settled down quite nicely after that debacle at the 11th. Good up and down on the last hole, and then two solid shots to put herself in position to make a birdie here. And even for Head-On, it's been since the 8th hole that she made a birdie. And remember, this was what they had a combined 14 birdies and an eagle between them yesterday. So this is an entirely different ball game for both of them.
Yeah, I think they're thinking it's Thursday and Friday where they have to play defense. They don't realize it's full offense golf this weekend. So, but the good news is they did play enough offense yesterday to give themselves enough of a cushion.
Tripp, I had a hard time reading the break on this one. It is uphill, so I know she can go ahead and hit it a little extra firm.
She's expecting it to go to the right, and again, uphill, just lacking that little bit extra. But all in all, you walk off 13 with 4s, you're okay.
Yeah, I mean, this hole played the second hardest hole yesterday, and it's still one of the hardest holes on the course.
Yeah.
Well, Brooke Henderson hoped to be walking up 18 a little later in the day than she is. But, Oregon, these fans are going to give her just as raucous an ovation regardless of what her score is. Winner of this event 6 years ago in Regina. From the tiny town of Smiths Falls, Ontario, to national hero. And she'll be carrying the banner for Canada to Paris for the Olympic Games. Again.
And back at 1 at the 17th, Lydia Ko with a lengthy one for birdie. Get her into the top 5. Birdie's rare here today.
This is a birdie putt for Brooke from just off the back of the 18th. Canada has always loved golf, but Brooke has given them something over the last decade, Morgan, to get excited about the way she's played and emerged as a superstar.
Yeah, I mean, just look at this crowd here around the 18th green to watch her everywhere she goes. It's not... Canadians travel very well.
Yeah.
We see them week in, week out on tour, following Brooke around. Just, and I loved seeing the Brooke Brigade there in the tent. I mean, think about the number of kids that have been inspired to pick up this game because of Brooke, and not only everything that she's accomplished, but the type of person she is and the type of role model that she is for these youngsters.
She was an amateur the first couple of times she played in this event. playing with Cheyenne Knight, the American, hoping to make it back onto the U.S. Solheim Cup team. She's got a lot of work to do if that's going to happen. Big backup on the 14th because it's reachable, so that final pair having to wait a bit with Heidan Yu up by 1. How hard is it, Morgan, to play in front of your home crowd?
I mean, I've never probably felt the pressure that Brooke feels. You know, I mean, it's a privilege to have that pressure, but just that feeling of, you know, the whole country truly cheering for you. And I've never had that feeling as the way that Brooke has, because very few athletes ever get to this air of truly, I mean, you said maybe the most popular sports figure in the entire country. And I think she embraces it very well, and I think she loves the energy that they provide. And this has been a tough week. She's not going to be, you know, she, like you said, she'd love to be walking down the fairway about an hour later here on 18, but still absolutely no give up in Brooke at all this week.
And can you just imagine if she goes to Paris and wins gold for Canada?
I think she just needs to find something to give her a little confidence. Like she's just, in terms of putting it all together, especially on the greens. And she's talked about that plenty as well. It's not, you know, just something that we've said, but something that she's admitted, that I've switched putters a bunch. I've done all these different things, trying to get some mojo, trying to kind of find a spark. And would there be a better place to find it? I'm not sure.
Yeah, then Paris. All right, the penultimate pairing ready on the 14th tee, and now Saigo.
And there is a wait here, so Heidan and Lauren watching what's happening ahead of them from that tee.
It's time to take a look at the Aon Risk Reward Challenge. It's the 14th challenge hole this week. Birdies were tough to come by, even on this par 5 with the tees moved back. First couple of days, Hannah Green got a long one to drop, and then yesterday with Heidan up by 1 on Lauren Coughlin. Rolled in that one for eagle. Heidan is contending for that $1 million first prize at the end of the season. Whoever has the best showing on the Aon Risk Reward Challenge hole each week, take your 2 best scores. It's a $1 million first prize, and there's Heidan with an eagle and a birdie already this week. She'd love to add an eagle for a lot of reasons, not least of which would be for this Aon Risk Reward Challenge table. Well, next stop, Paris for Brooke and Brittany. Olympic Games underway as of last week, opening ceremony Friday. She can't wait to get back and represent Canada for a 3rd time. It's the final round of the 50th CPKC Women's Open from Calgary, Alberta, here in the Prairie Provinces. Back in Calgary for the first time since 2016. It has been a long wait for these final few pairings. Back-to-back par 5s, 14 and 15, already a 12-minute wait for that final pair, and they're still waiting. Finishing up at the 18th, Lydia Ko.
Just impossible coming out of the rough. This has been one of the hardest greens to hit all week, just because of how firm it is, and you have absolutely no chance coming from that angle.
All right, this is now Saigo trying to decide what she wants to go with here for her second to the par 5.
And it's interesting whether the players in that final group knew how close Saigo had gotten. If they didn't or weren't really looking at leaderboards, they did once they got to this tee. You know the caddies are looking. You know the caddies knew.
Always know.
But yeah, they got to pay attention to what's happening in front of them as well. It's no longer just a 2-horse race. And Tripp, you've said this. I think it's absolutely correct that these 2 holes are going to be really where this shakes out. How really an opportunity for movement. We've seen eagles on both of these next 2 holes, 14 and 15, both reachable today, playing well under par. Who is going to make the biggest move on these 2 holes? Asking for it to sit. It's going to be okay. Lengthy putt, up a ridge, down a ridge. Maybe across a ridge, too.
Yeah.
And this is the 15th, and this is Shin for Eagle talking about those, making moves. As I said, this is one of the easier hole locations if you get it in the fairway. See, and that's the other key, Morgan, is you put it in the fairway on those 2 holes. Look at that, playing them in 7. We could have somebody do that.
Right back at the 14th, playing with Saigo is Rose Zhang, who has dropped back.
She got off to a good start. We were kind of looking at her on that leaderboard early, but
that'll help.
Lovely shot right there. Need something to flip the switch here.
So the fairway beginning to clear. About a 15-minute wait. You go back to last week, Head On You was in contention at the Dana Open, which finishes with back-to-back par 5. She was there with Shaneti Wanase, and they had lengthy waits on both of those par 5s. We'll see how it affects them, if at all. We're going to look at this tee shot of Lauren Coughlin, 1 shot off the lead with our top tracer technology presented by Progressive Insurance.
So you're saying Head On is prepared for this. Now, Lauren yesterday did not hit the fairway. She overdrew her drive, ended up in the left rough. Still made birdie. Oh, that looks good down the left center.
Yeah, that's going to be a good angle to that front right hole location as well, as long as it stays in the short grass, which it looks like it will.
Head On has not hit a fairway on the back 9. 3 to the right, 10, 11, 12, and then 1 to the left at 13.
Well, she absolutely nailed one here yesterday. Just had a mid-iron in and set herself up for an eagle. So collectively, this twosome was 3 under on this hole. Would love to hit it down the right side, which is cut with the grain. This is flirting too much to the right.
Yeah, just doesn't quite get that kick back to the first cut, and that she may be able to chase something up the left, but we'll see how much she can get on that ball.
Back-to-back par 5s beginning here at the 14th with Head On You up by 1. This was the eagle putt from Saigo a moment ago at 14.
Well, let's see if she can dial in both the break and the speed. It's a very challenging putt. It's just really tough. Anything beyond that big ridge in this green, almost better off to be just front left side of the green.
Lydia Ko over the green with her second at the 18th, third to this point. This for par. And off she heads to Paris with a silver and a bronze already in her trophy case. If she gets the gold, she'll also earn a spot in the LPGA Hall of Fame. So a bit of a role reversal from yesterday. Kay, second shot for you here.
Oh, and this is so hard to swallow. She is literally 1 inch off the first cut of rough, which would have enabled her to go for it, and instead just sandwiching it up 90 yards.
All right, here is Saigo for birdie.
Being behind at this point is a big putt.
And she gets it to drop, and Mal Saigo, who made the cut by just a single shot, shot 61 yesterday to come from 9 off the lead at the halfway point, is now within 1. Coughlin licking your chops here. Rosang, a brilliant second shot, tapped in for eagle to get to 7 under. Now Coughlin.
Move one out the tower. Okay.
I like that last bit of advice. Really not looking at the flagstick, going at the TV tower, 165 to the front. So she's playing that probably 170 shot, going with the 6-iron. Let's see if she can hit her target.
When I talked to Terry earlier today, he said they had a mindset of 18 under par. Get to 18, that was their number. They said they would change that based on the conditions and how things went about. He said that's what he would do with Annika when she was playing. And
pulled that one a little bit. Probably was a tad bit too much club, but better go a little long than short.
Yeah, but that's going to be a brutal putt, Kay. We just saw Mal Saigo really struggle with that. But you know, you think at the beginning of the day they were standing on the range thinking 18 under might be a target total, and here, I mean, it has been a tough test of golf for that final pair, maybe feeling some nerves.
Up ahead 1 to the 15th. This is Jennifer Kupcho. Absolute position A. Good looking swing. She's leaning like it's going right, and well, it's going just right past it. And that lie looks acceptable. That's one you would think you're going to have a chance to chip it in.
And if she does, she's absolutely in it.
Of course.
Head on You has had to lay up, so here is her third at the par 5.
Just on the left side a little bit. Okay. Yeah, just for normal for 1.
This is a 90-yard shot. Plays shorter with the warm air. What I like about her wedge game is that she generally doesn't overhit her wedges. She hits more of a controlled shot. But she is going with the lob wedge here. So this is full.
Just a big penalty for missing that fairway. Still has a chance to make birdie the hard way, but them not taking advantage of that hole at the moment is really opening the door for Mal Saigo and potentially others.
Indeed, and on the 15th, she's been on the birdie train this weekend. Let's see if she can keep it up here with a good drive. And that is right on the line where you want to hit it. It should. That fairway runs out to the left quite a bit. You can see how much that ball keeps moving towards the right side of your screen, which is the left rough.
What a beautifully aggressive swing that was, Tripp. Wow.
Up at the 16th, Jenny Shin with her second, just made eagle at 15.
Man, this whole location, only about 5 paces over this bunker, coming out of the first cut. Tough to get it close. Just that little bit of a difference. What, about 3 feet, depending on whether you can get spin on the ball or not.
Wise good. Just 85.
85 shot?
A little, yeah, to a touch more.
Okay.
Just a little left.
And then Lilia Vu at the 15th playing with Jennifer Kupcho. Drove it in trouble, had to lay up. 7 under on the par 5 is exactly what she is under par, so I think 7 under's, unless something like that goes in, give her chances of winning this tournament. Not going to happen, but she is going to be playing some more golf in a couple of weeks in France.
And there was no guarantee of that just last month. She was coming back from injury. Number 2 in the world. Now Lauren Coughlin got hit on you with a birdie putt of about 15 feet or so coming up. But this for Coughlin for eagle.
Yeah, this is a wild and crazy putt. I mean, by virtue of that spine that comes in towards the front third off the right-hand side. For her perspective, it's on her left-hand side. It's going to sling the putt quite a bit left to right. You have to get up and over that slope and hit the apex at the right spot. It's really difficult, Morgan. And overall, this is a 60-footer, and I think she's got to hit it firmly up to 50 feet and then let that last 10 feet kind of be a gravitational pull down to the right.
Yeah, the first part of this putt is very slow up the hill. You could see the movement both of that we're making with their hands about how much it was going to break in both directions.
I think this is a point where you just have to have fun with this and be like, okay, let's see how close I can get this. Let's see if I can get this within a 3 or 4 foot circle.
Mouse wasn't quite as fast over this ridge as she thought it was going to be.
Didn't hit it hard enough to get properly over that ridge.
She'll have the same putt as Saigo.
Yeah, very similar putt. She's saying, I just need a little more.
All right, here's Cupcho at the 15th. Oh, that was right on line. But should be a birdie, but I think she's going to have to run the tables to have any chance.
If they so choose, the players can take a peek at where they stand. Head on you, leading it by 1, as she did when the round began. She had a 3-shot lead until she tugged her second shot into the water at 11, made double. Now it's going to be Head on you and Lauren Coughlin putting for birdie here at this par 5 14th.
It's always interesting to hear afterwards whether a player wants to know where they stand or they're just into the process of hitting their strategy for how they want to play the course or a hole. This is not an easy putt. To me, I could almost see 2 different breaks. It's a head scratcher. And overall, it's level and then goes downhill just a little bit.
I think maybe she was fooled as well, Kay. Typically what happens when a player leaves it short, so they're not fully committed to the line.
You know, you walk up to some putts and you just see it clear as day, and others you're like, oh my goodness, what does this do? And it does put question mark in your head.
At the 16th, Jenny Shin for birdie. Probably had to birdie in. You never quite know. Well, an enormous putt for Lauren Coughlin. Morgan, she told us that when she got to this point on Sunday at the Mundi Evian Championship, that maybe rather than going out and taking it, she just retreated a little bit mentally. She's got a chance here to tie the lead.
And it's important that she recognized that, realized what that was, Kay. And here, this is a big moment.
Yeah, and this is an easy putt. This is there's nothing crazy going on with this putt. Let's see if she can be extra aggressive with it. Oh, she pulled it a bit, and then I think it went that way a little.
It's kind of where her putter was lined up. We saw Mouse Saigo's putt actually break to the left, just in the group ahead. That one was never where it needed to be.
Isn't it crazy, Morgan? Like yesterday, they could hardly do anything wrong. It was birdie after birdie and exciting shot after exciting shot. And then today, it's like, I mean, how many birdies between the 2 of them? 3?
I mean, they're both 1 over par. It's a bit of a pillow fight here compared to what it was yesterday. But that's Championship Sunday. Some nerves, huh? It's a little tight.
And if you talk to players who've won out here multiple times, they'll tell you they've done it in every way fashionable.
26 putts through 14 holes for Lauren Coughlin, including a couple of 3 putts. You see Jennifer Kupcho moves to 9 under.
And they're just, at this moment, letting other players into this event.
Now Saigo is in the fairway at the par 5 15th, waiting to go for it in 2. This is a par putt for Hae-Dan Yu. She's missed every fairway on the back 9, and it's cost her chances. And you're talking about one of the very best ball strikers in the game.
Yeah, I mean, they're fairly narrow fairways, but she's missed most of them to the right, especially that one on 11 that led to that double bogey.
And here we are at the 15th, right in the middle of the fairway. Mayo Saigo. This is green light right here. Good looking swing right there. Nice and aggressive. And oh yeah. She says, I want to dance at this party.
After a fairly slow start, I mean, even par through 8 holes, just lighting up the rest of this round. And what a fabulous swing there.
All right, now we're going to go back to the tee. And, Kay, this is such a tough fairway to hit because it runs out so quick on you on the left.
Exactly, and it's not like you can see the full scope of the fairway, so it's almost like one of those little half-blind shots, and you have to just, you know, pick a tree limb, or the top of a tree, or a spot on the tee box that lines you up well, and commit to it and just swing full.
Yeah, and I see a lot of players try to cheat down that right-hand side, and like you said, it's blind. So a lot of times these players think they're in the fairway, and they end up catching it in that right rough.
Well, these two both hit the fairway yesterday and had a go at this green.
Certainly they get it in the fairway. They can get there, both of them, easily.
Yeah, and both of these players, it's fun to watch because they are two of the players out here on tour that can hit a high cut shot, and that's such a nice shot to have.
Well, that's kind of used stock shot anyway, is good hard fade. That's what the doctor ordered right here.
Let's see if Hae-Dan can finally find the short grass on this back 9.
She has to. I think it's a necessity. She's been fortunate to play poorly and still lead by 1. And
oh, that'll do.
Okay. That'll do, but it's running out to the left. It needs to stay in. Yeah, there you go. All right, we've got our final pairing with opportunities in front of them at the 15th. But all of a sudden, we got 3 players vying for this championship. All right, we are back, and this is Saigo for eagle and the solo lead. She could leapfrog you with this putt going in. It is fast. It's downhill from about right there towards the hole, and she gave it a little too much respect.
It's amazing that Mao Saigo is in this position. She began the 3rd round 9 shots off the lead, tied for 46th place. She played the front 9 and 4 under, and then Morgan Viss at the 10th.
One of the toughest holes on the golf course, making it look easy with a little bit of good luck as well.
And she would keep it going. After that eagle took her to 6 under par, she birdied 11, she birdied 12, she birdied 14, and then this at 15. The 59 watch was on big time. She needed to birdie in to break 60. She parred 16, but then Saigo tee shot at the par 3 17.
Giving the fans around the rink something to cheer about for sure. How about that?
She would roll that in for birdie to get to 11 under on this par 72. So she goes to 18, stripes her tee shot, has to make this to join Annika Sorenstam as the only players in the 75-year history of the LPGA Tour to shoot 59. One of the toughest holes on the course, maybe the toughest. She hits a really, really good shot, but not perfect. She would 2-putt it for a 61, the lowest score in the 50-year history of this event. Now she's got this putt to tie the lead.
And fortunate, she had to move her mark for Rose Zhang, who she's playing with. So she saw Rose miss the putt, but she saw exactly what this putt does. So there is no mystery as to what is going on. And I'll tell you what, to barely make the cut and be tied for the lead with 3 holes left, that is remarkable if this were to go in.
When she finished with the 61 yesterday, she actually led by 2, but because Yu and Coughlin got off to those great starts, they took a sizable lead on her. That lead is gone, and Saigo is tied.
Well, for any chance, Jenny Shen's got to hit this one in there close, and that looks to be going right along that middle part of that green. And Morgan, it's just so hard to get it over there on that left-hand side. It's so narrow.
You have to aim between the flagstick and the left edge of the green to have any chance, and but then you can't miss left.
Exactly. All right, here we go, Kay. Coughlin second.
Going with 5 wood instead of 3 wood today. She's 4 paces closer to the front than she was yesterday.
Big bounce.
This coming in a little higher. Will it get up there?
Oh,
Will
yeah,
it scoot?
Oh, this is going to be really good.
Oh, because it's downhill from there. That is exceptional. That's one of the best shots we've seen today at the 15th. There we go.
I have reminiscent of her shot into 18 at Evian on Saturday.
All right. Set us up for you.
Well, Hayden has 2 paces closer to the front of the green than she had yesterday. She's going with the 4 iron. 206 to the front. Nice line. Depends how it bounces.
That's got to run out, too. And because it's an iron, it's not going to run out as far. But we still have 2 eagle putts coming up. And you see the advantage. There's always an advantage to being in the last group because you have the most holes to play. You know what's in front of you. And you can tell Lauren Coughlin, she knows that she needs to make a move.
Today's coverage is brought to you by CPKC, proud title sponsor of Canada's National Open, the CPKC Women's Open celebrating its 50th play. And by Volunteers of America, dedicated to building healthy communities through health, housing, and human services. Give at VOA.org. Nine shots back when the weekend began, now tied for the lead. 22-year-old from Japan, Mao Saigo, at the 16th.
Just trying to find the fairway here. This one leaking right, going to be very difficult to get anything close to this hole. That's a big miss, not playing aggressively with the driver.
Back to our final pair at the 15th.
And used putt, Kay, going to be fairly fast the last half of it.
Yeah, this she's putting on a slightly higher portion of the green and has to go downhill. The ball will meander down and start turning to the right to the lower back hole location. Overall, a 45-footer, and it's going to be a good challenge just to get the speed right on this.
Yeah, you're better off being past this hole if you can do it somehow, but all in all, I think where she is, that's, yeah.
That was really good for pace. It just didn't move that much to the right.
All right, we saw the tee shot of Jenny Shen. We've seen a ton of people down here. We haven't seen very many people get it to the hole even, so it is slow. Well, that one looks to be carrying enough pace. Good effort. Having fun with the crowd there. That's good to see. And now we're back. Kay, this is huge right here. I think this is a pretty easy putt to read.
Yeah, this is the one you hope for. Just that little bit of break right to left. No more than 15 feet. It's time to make one, and a big one. didn't move much at all.
No, it didn't. I thought that was the line she had to hit it on.
I think that was a fooler right there, but yeah, easy 2-putt.
Well, that gets her back tied for the lead, so important to get it in the fairway on 16 and 18. Give yourself looks at birdie on those holes. Okay, I think this is Yu's tournament right now. It's in her hands. She finally hit a fairway on this back nine. This goes in, and I like her chances.
Yeah, like we said, she's managed a few big challenges on this back nine. That double at 11, missing fairways. She's grinded it out. 2 lovely shots on this hole, driver 4-iron. And this would be a heck of a 2-putt because that first putt was not easy.
Yeah, you've seen players all day run that by a significant amount, so it's enough that she needs to give it the full routine and the full attention. There we go. Leader by 1, 3 holes to play.
All right, so Saigo has missed the fairway at the 16th, and Morgan, how about the second?
It looks like a nasty lie as well. I expect this to be a little left of this flag. I mean, so thick. Huge mistake missing the fairway there. If that got to the upslope, it won't be the worst place to be.
We've heard that muffled sound all week, haven't we, out of the rough?
You could see she just put her hands on her hips immediately after contact, and you just don't know how it's going to come out. But big advantage here being in the fairway.
Zhang with her second. Safety first. Good week for Rose as she gets ready to represent America, as she did in the Solheim Cup last year in just a few events. The LPGA Tour, she won her first pro start, wound up on the Solheim Cup team. Now she's going to represent the U.S. at the Olympic Games. These two played together, Saigo and Zhang, in the final round of the Amundi Evian Championship, where Lauren Coughlin had the lead on the back nine Sunday before the 4th place finish. There is an extra $20,000 up for grabs for whoever this week hits the most greens in regulation of those who complete 4 rounds, courtesy of Audi, the Audi Precision Award. They're also donating an extra $20,000 to the First Tee of Alberta. 1 shot back on the tee at the 16th, Lauren Coughlin.
Like this, Kay.
Yeah, she pushed that right, and she knows the bounce will be to the right. Hopefully it stays in the first cut.
Can't see it.
I think it might have just nestled into that primary, and if you're right on the edge, it's uber challenging.
Same target. Yep. Down that wall quick.
Keep it here for Head-On You. She finally hit a fairway on the back nine. It led to a 2-putt birdie and just clinging to that 1-shot lead.
With the phone, lady with the phone.
There's a bike path over there to the right of the 16th tee. And some bikers may have had a cell phone up.
Head-On going with 3-wood. I like this play. Whatever you can do to keep it in the fairway.
That's a good use of the cell phone there. Take a shot of Head-On.
Yeah, study that golf swing. We're gonna film one and look at it. Certainly, Head-On's a great one to copy. So much grace and power, and that different than her tee shot on 14, just barely in the fairway. Huge difference.
And a huge shot here from Saigo, 3rd from that front bunker.
Be able to hold this one here.
How did it not drop? Tip of the cap, and Saigo is going to save par. That would have tied the lead again. Hate on You hanging on to a one-shot lead late in Calgary. Yesterday, Saigo had a putt of about this length to shoot 61. This is her 61st stroke today. She's got the par 3 17th, par 4 18th to go, and a chance to win for the first time in this her rookie season, like Hate on You did last year, en route to winning Rookie of the Year honors. 17.
Now Kupcho on the tee. There, now I think we got one down the corridor that it needs to be. It's just the wrong club.
Oh, now that's a really tough
So
shot.
hard.
That's, when you a bit too aggressive, it comes to bite you.
Oh, how about this second for Coughlin, Kay?
Don't go to your ready. Okay?
It is not, the lie's not as bad as I initially thought.
Target.
The longer primary rough could possibly be a little bit of a hindrance here, and she has to watch for it on the downswing to not turn the club face. But I think it's good enough she can get a reasonably clean shot with this 9-iron.
If anything, hold the club face open to the right.
Well, that's going a bit to the left, hoping to scoot it up to the edge of the green.
Yeah, that's okay from there.
That's actually really quite acceptable, isn't it?
Yeah, that's okay there. She did play it a little bit left in case that longer cut of grass did hold the face open through the shot.
So you can land this 20, you can land this a few meters past it is okay. Got it. Okay?
But now from the fairway, up one, Hate on You.
Yeah, this is a big advantage. Interesting that she's going with a 9-iron. 131 to the hole. You heard them say they want to hit it, you know, just past 123, which is that front number, and everything's playing a little bit shorter because of the warmth.
She set up way open here, Kay.
Hitting a cut in to try to land it softly. Oh, wow.
Now, it hasn't been easy for Hate on You. She's got a birdie putt coming up at the 16th to try to add to her lead. Final pair is at the par 4 16th. Hate on You in there about 12 feet away for birdie. A long opportunity here for Lauren Coughlin, one back.
Well, the signal from Terry is that it's going to go a little left to right, and that's basically, this green tilts from back to front a bit, and from Lauren's angle, that'll move this putt a little left to right. She's close to 40 feet, because even though this hole's only 8 paces on the front, it's 15 from the true left-hand side of the green, so another lengthy putt.
You can tell she's really relying on Terry a lot, especially around the greens here. Did she take that back far enough?
Oh, is it going to get there?
A lot going on in her head, a lot going on up ahead at the 17th with so much commotion. Here we go.
Yeah, this is for par. We saw the one go left and long, her tee shot, and tried to run it through the grass and left it there. And, well, that'll pretty much probably chances of winning were gone anyway, but good showing. I mean, solid play. A few too many of those squares.
We haven't seen quite as many low scores as we did yesterday, but Jenny Shin has one of the best rounds going. This for a closing birdie and a 67. Couple of them on the weekend. 5 under on her inward 9. And alone in 4th place. All right, Lauren Coughlin, a good lag putt, but now she can only watch as Hate on You has this to take a 2-shot lead with 2 to play.
Yeah, her focus is 100%. She's very regimented about her routine, kind of lines it up first with the club over the ball. early on, before she started working with Chris Cho, her tendency was to aim to the left with her putter, and so it threw everything off on her ability to read putts and get the speed right. But she's grooving something very nicely in the last month.
Yeah, that's one of the first things that Chris corrected, why she puts that left-hand arm long and low before she grips the club to square her shoulders. Oh, that one never broke.
It sure didn't, and you've talked about it, Morgan. She is aggressive with the putter, but that takes out some break.
Yeah, it is one of the things that she and Chris have been working on is limiting the acceleration through the putt, and he said that's a little bit of the mistake that we've seen when she has gotten heavy-handed.
All right, Saigo on the tee. That's that common line. That's going to be over there down the center of the green, but it's that area where we've seen so many players. Oh, my. That complicates things, Morgan.
And I think it's like players are aiming up the right, trying to hit a draw back to that flag stick, and it's just not turning over, but that's the bail over there. And I believe that also gives Lauren the greens and regulation title.
All right, this is the par putt to stay up by 1. Oh, my goodness.
Wow, how things so quickly change in this game.
She's had a few 3 putts on this back 9 yesterday. She had one on Friday as well. She bounced back from them big time, but what's going through Lauren's mind right now? She was just almost down by 2 and now tied for the lead with 2 to play.
Well, in this season of shocking Sunday comebacks, we may be looking at another one with Mal Saigo, 9 shots back entering the weekend. And beginning today, 5 in arrears of Head On You. She has missed the green at 17, but she's in a 3-way tie. But, lady, it's hard to believe that she's tied at the top.
And
let's check in with her.
Yeah, at the 17th, we saw the tee shot run into this grass. And, Morgan, we've seen players have trouble putting it to the hole from here. Let's see what the effect of this chip will have. Oh, no.
You can't hit that kind of a bump and run out of those really thick lies. You have to play more like a bunker shot, take a sand wedge so that it releases a little bit more than it would with a lob wedge. But you've got to play a little bit more of a cut shot. It's more predictable.
And more of an explosion. You just got to be really firm and play for it to come out dead. You have to do that.
Yeah, let's take another look. She's playing a bump and run. You can tell it's back in her stance, not a very big swing, and just it's almost comes out chunky. Just comes out so heavy. It's just unpredictable.
Yeah, I think she has not lost her turn because Rose Zhang hit a shot in there on the correct level. But yeah, always on those shots, you have to, if you play for them to come out dead, you're going to give that extra bit for it, so you'll compensate for that. And you know, if it comes out a little more lively than you expect, well, it'll run past the hole a good bit, but at least you would get it up there on that level where the hole is.
Yeah, that's why I like the open face, this bigger swing, more predictable.
Well, she has been sensational.
Okay, quiet please.
Starting Saturday morning, and she's going to need to call on that right here.
Still going to be a very slow putt.
Yeah, I think we've only seen 1 or 2 players get it past the hole. Yep, there's another one. You can just see it. When you see it consistently like that, it's just fooling everybody. So something to pay attention to if our final group gets there down in that area. And she's got the difficult 18th ahead. Tough to make birdies there. And back on the tee.
USA!
They've got to wait on Rose Zhang, who's on the green, putting for birdie. Not her best day. 1 over for the day. Would like to get back to even. I was out with her yesterday afternoon, and I tell you, she does everything so good. She doesn't do anything flashy, but everything is just so good. No weaknesses at all in her game. And Morgan, I liked her answer after, too, how mature she seems. She just seems like that person who's ready for a lot of big things.
She's very poised. You see that time and time again in her interviews and the way she carries herself on the golf course. Really only being her first full season out here. It's a quick study.
Still studying
Yeah.
at Stanford.
All right, Kay, we're going to get you out of the penalty box. You're out of the penalty box. Now describe the shot back here at the rink.
Well, she's going with 6-iron, which seems to be the club of choice. It's what both players used in the group ahead. Ideally, looking to land this 175, 180 max, and it feels like a little bit of breeze is slightly helping.
USA! Both these players like to hit just a slight fade.
Oh, there we go.
How about that?
This is one of the best of the day. It stops right there. Oh, and she has put the power play on.
She hopes to hear that in a couple of months' time, playing for the U.S. Solheim Cup team.
I think she's going to be a big part of that team. I think she's got especially going through this gauntlet right here. Now you.
Well, you's got to be a bit rattled, and I think having a small weight on the tee helped her calm down a little bit and get refocused. Also going with 6-iron.
I don't know if she needs all of this, Kay.
No, we'll see if she puts her little patented cut into play. Not cutting much, but I don't think it's going to hurt her.
Yeah, it could come off of that. Just not. It's still better to putt from there than it is from down there. So we've got our 2 leaders on the 71st hole. And we're back. This is you for birdie at 17.
She's 30 feet away, and the problem is she's got to putt through about a pace, almost a pace and a half of closely mown area before getting to the putting surface. Left to right break.
Well, you can see how much that putt breaks, and wow, she's got another one of those really difficult putts for par.
Kind of hopped right immediately out of that fringe. Never held its line.
Mao Saigo had the lead, lost it with a bogey at 17, and now at the 18th.
Losing this a little bit to the right. Probably run out of fairway there.
Oh, wow.
Looked like it settled into a tough lie.
And here's the scene at the 17th.
I would say, Kay, this is one of the most important putts of her career.
Yeah, she and Terry talking this over. She initially indicated left to right. He may have tried to shake her off of that, if not putting it outside the hole.
She took a huge deep breath. You could see another one right there. Try and calm that heart rate as best as you can. There's no question it's fluttering.
I think she's looked very relaxed today, and I think she's at the point in her career where she's welcoming being in this environment, and she wants to be in this environment. Yes, she's excited, but I don't think she fears this moment anymore.
Well, with you, with 6-some feet left for par, this absolutely takes control. Right in the middle. I think you're going to see some of that in a couple of months at the Solheim Cup in Virginia.
I mean, first time today, really, in this position. She has been fighting from behind the entire day. You saw those couple bogeys early on the scorecard. What a putt.
And the last little bit, it went to the right. That was hanging left the whole way, and then it poured right into the middle. Those deep breaths are so key. All right, Kay. And it is you has to make this.
Well, she does, and I think, you know, in a way, it's almost like getting back into match play mentality. Don't even think about the comeback, or just think about the bottom of the cup. That's all that matters.
And Coughlin now with a 2-shot lead, walking to the 72nd hole. Back-to-back bogeys for you.
I mean, it's kind of shocking. Actually, it's very shocking, Tripp. I say the 4 shots of gifting that she has done on this back 9 to the field. The double bogey at 11, and then the 2 3-putts here back-to-back on 16 and 17. For a player of Hedon's caliber, it's just shocking.
It is. The great thing is, great champions learn from those moments, though. They don't dwell on, they move on.
100 starts on the LPGA Tour for Lauren Coughlin. And now she makes her way to the 18th tee, up by 2. Mal Saigo still with a chance, second.
Looked like she was able to get under that nicely. Not sure if it will stop. Everything funnels a little bit off the back of this green here. Not a bad shot from there, though.
Had a share of the lead on the 17th tee, a bogey at 17, and now over at the 18th. Lauren Coughlin, 31 years old, Charlottesville, Virginia. A late bloomer by her own admission. Almost gave the game up. The college coach at Virginia, Kim Llewellyn, convinced her to go to Q school. She got her card back. She has fought and scratched and clawed. The journey woman is 1 hole away from breaking all the way through. She'd be the 3rd first-time winner on the LPGA Tour this year. Her chances of making the Solheim Cup team would go up dramatically. She could almost wrap up a spot, if not on points, then in style points, getting it done in a massive moment like this.
Oh, and she's just so likable. She loves sports. She loves stats. She uses that love of stats to help her own game. I think she's just been living for this moment. It looked like a really good swing.
I almost felt like that conversation she was having with Terry there on the tee box was explaining how she was feeling. And knowing that Terry's been in this situation so many times over and over, really helping her through today. She is hung really tough. You never know what's going to happen. You could never take any shot for granted, Kay.
No, exactly. And she talks so much, and all players talk about acceptance and patience and just letting mistakes go and really not letting it affect you. And unfortunately, 2 big mistakes in a row for Hedon. And it's taken her out of this tournament.
It's not over yet, but that won't help. And her elite ball striking has let her down at times on the back. But Lauren Coughlin making her way up the 18th, up by 2 on the doorstep of glory. Likely a must-make a moment ago. Mal Saigo for birdie. Rose Zhang played with her Sunday at Evian, said, "I'm not surprised she shot 61. She is that kind of a player." 6 wins on the Japan LPGA Tour. Morgan, I think we better get used to seeing Mal Saigo.
What an impressive weekend. She had making the cut by 1, nearly hoisting the trophy.
Coughlin in the fairway, leads by 2. Hayden, you need something special here from the rough.
Yeah, this lie is not good. Sitting well down, ball a little below her feet as well. 158 to the front. She took a 5-iron at that, just trying to hack it through, hope it gets a good bounce. Coming in with a lot of energy.
We've said it all week, and her driver let her down quite a bit here on this back 9. Wasn't able to take advantage of her superb iron play.
Okay, no one's hit more greens this week than Lauren Coughlin. If she does it here, anywhere near the hole, championship is likely hers.
We knew that would be a recipe for success, and she has gotten it done so far today. This is a 9-iron, just trying to get it on the front of the green. Playing a little right of the bunker. And she's managed this 18th hole pretty nicely all week long.
Maybe not her best swing of the week, but what a moment she's in here.
Lauren Coughlin, just 3 years ago, went to the last event of the season, needing a good finish just to keep her LPGA Tour card. She built on that performance. Talk about winning a tournament, Morgan, but keeping your card, staying out on the LPGA Tour. In ways, there's even more pressure there, isn't there?
Yeah, there's not much more pressure than truly playing for your job. It's like the biggest interview you'd ever have. And I go back to only a couple weeks ago when she was in this position with a chance to win a major championship at Evian. And I talked to her coach, John Llewellyn, earlier today. He said he thinks that she learned a lot from Evian. They talked on Wednesday about really staying in the moment, staying in your shot process. A lot of what she told us in here on Thursday afternoon after leading round 1, but not dreaming too early. I think she's getting close to being able to start dreaming right now. Still has a job to do, but whether she's dreaming currently, she has dreamed of this moment for a very, very long time.
And she stood on the 15th tee just a couple of Sundays ago at the Amundi Evian Championship with the lead. She was still tied when she got to the 16th hole, hit a shot on that par 3 that hung on the edge and wouldn't drop down toward the hole. 3-putted, lost the lead, finished 4th. But she said just being in this position time after time has given her more confidence, and what she did at 17 is one she may never forget. This has been a popular spot, Morgan, over this green at 18.
This is just such a firm green. Players, anybody missing the fairway is pretty much ending up over the green. I think Lauren looked at Hayden like, okay, I'll go. So, okay, what does she have here?
Well, she's got the putter out, off of the surface, almost at full step, not quite. Uphill the entire way. This whole green tilts from back to front and left to right. Kind of talking things over with Terry on what he sees. It looks like maybe there's possibly a little right to left initially, and then it's going to want to pull back to the right.
2 putts for the win.
I think tapping into the right speed overrides break at this point.
Right on track the whole way. And just a couple of feet left for a breakthrough victory for Lauren Coughlin.
That was a pretty nice putt, Morgan, but I would have liked it in there a little tighter.
Yeah, considering her heart rate, it just has to be so high, and your hands are shaking in that moment to gauge speed that well from long range, just off the green.
Well, everyone on any tour talks about just how difficult it is to win and how difficult to get that first win.
Here comes the ruling. She had her husband, John Pond, caddying for her at Evian, and he, in a very self-deprecating way, said if Terry Mack was on the bag, she might have won this thing. And she played brilliantly. Just got a little bit of a bad break at 16, but Terry McNamara and Lauren connected earlier this season. There is John looking on. He's got to be more nervous than she is.
Oh, there's no question. Anybody who's watched a relative, a child, a spouse compete in these moments, you know how nervous they are. And when you don't have any control, it's tough.
And so for Hayden, she has to hold this to get to 12 under and force Coughlin to have any chance.
It's not an easy ask, but it's possible. She has to hit it up and over the rise, the mound that extends about 5 paces to the edge of the green.
Oh my goodness, we saw this, didn't we, last week and this week, Morgan?
She did that, I believe it was round 2.
I'm feeling for her right now. She was so in control yesterday and in pretty decent control for most of the day today. And it's just gone terribly wrong.
Morgan, we saw the graphic earlier that she has the most top 10s without a win this season. And I just look back to our most recent major champion, Ayaka Fudaway, who spoke so openly about struggling on Sundays. Ayaka broke through in a huge way, and now Hayden Yu is going to have another disappointing Sunday, something from which she'll try to rebound.
This is going to really hurt. There is no question. Have to regroup, have to say what went wrong, how can I correct it next time I'm in this position, because there's no question there will be many next times that she is in this position. And, you know, she said last year even she had a lot of chances before she broke through with her first victory, and kind of were wondering when might that happen. Finally did, and, you know, players go through those stretches where they put themselves in contention and for whatever reason, usually mentally more than anything, not quite able to get across the finish line.
Let's see if she finishes up here. Lauren Coughlin now has a couple of putts from short range to win for the first time.
And Morgan, more than hurt, I think this could haunt her for a little bit. And I think players that have the physical capability, the stellar ball striking and strength like she has, are almost expected to win 2-3 times a year, but you've got to put it all together.
This is where you want to have as short a memory as possible. You do have to analyze it. You do have to analyze and say what went wrong, but you can't carry it with you. And that's easier said than done.
Stood on the 11th tee with a 3-shot lead. But she'll come up short with a 75.
3 straight bogeys. Those 2 3-putts on 16 and 17.
And now the track is clear. Lauren Coughlin in LPGA start number 101. 2 putts with husband John looking on. The little engine that could just did. The long journey of Lauren Coughlin ends in the winner's circle in Calgary. She wins the CPKC Women's Open for her first career LPGA title. Soak it in.
That is so awesome. I remember when we saw her after the disappointment at Evian, she said, you know, I really feel like I played well, and I'm proud of myself that I put myself there in that position. I talked to her quite a bit during the week off. I felt like she wasn't dwelling on what could have been at Evian, but focused on the future. And did it ever pay off here? Look at John.
They were chugging champagne after that final round at Evian as well. This one's going to taste even sweeter. How about that for a bounce back? From the disappointing end to that Sunday in Evian to a triumph north of the border, Lauren Coughlin is an LPGA winner. And Kay Cockrell is with our newest champion.
This is what makes calling golf so much fun. Congratulations on your first victory. You're a self-described late bloomer. Yeah. Describe a bit of this journey from walk-on at Virginia to now being a tour winner at age 31.
Yeah, I don't even really know how to describe it. You know, I think I've had, people believe in me for a really long time, and I wouldn't be here without their push and their love. My husband, my family, John Llewellyn, Kim Llewellyn, Brian Bailey, my assistant coach in college, who was probably the reason I went to Virginia in the first place. It's kind of indescribable, to be honest. Never really thought it would happen, but it did.
Yesterday was a dream day. You and Hedon throwing birdies and eagles out there. Everything was going right. Today was a struggle. Only 3 birdies for you, but how big was that shot at 17 and the ensuing putt?
Yeah, it was kind of a tweener of a club. Like, I could really only hit 6, and I needed to take some off of it, or else it might have gone over, especially considering how jacked up I was at the time. But I hit it pretty much perfect. And the putt, I thought it was almost going to stay out to the left there, and it just dove right at the last second. But yeah, it was huge. I felt like I hung in there all day today. I didn't really make anything, just played super patient and stuck with it, and they eventually went in.
I was going to say, you've been known for your grit and perseverance and determination. How much on those things did you lean when it was looking a little dire at points halfway through the round?
Yeah, I think just my story in general just shows that I'm always trying. I'm always willing to try to do things. I'm willing to stay in it. I don't give up, and I think I showed that perfectly today.
101st tournament, and you are a tour winner. Congratulations.
Oh, just pure joy. Well deserved. Time for our shots of the day from SHI. It was a 3-way tie at the top late, and then Coughlin steps up with ice in her veins. A hole that had yielded just 3 birdies all day, with the chance of USA up here in Canada, chant that she may be hearing soon for the Solheim Cup team, for the outright lead. Our shots of the day presented by SHI, a player who just a couple of years ago needed a T16 in the final event of the year just to get inside the top 100, is now 5th in the race to the CME Globe. Most important, she's an LPGA winner. Morgan, this was no easy 2-putt. Turns out that she had a little bit of help. How sweet it is.
Just the grit, the fight that she showed all day. I love what she said. I never gave up, never gave head on the trophy. Said, I'm still here, and just kept waiting for them to fall. And the biggest putt of her life on 17.
Well, her coach, John Llewellyn, is an Episcopal priest. He married John and Lauren, and now this this Heavenly Sunday in Calgary, Alberta. And Lauren Coughlin, you heard her talk about it. She is a grinder. And did she ever grind today?
And she needed it. It's been a test of patience, this golf course, all week. We knew that. Scores today a little bit lower, and they definitely let some of the other players back in this championship, considering we thought it was about a 2-horse race for a long time out there. But wow, I mean, it was quite the roller coaster of a day. She took the gifts that Head-On gave her, those 2 3-putts coming down the very end. Those will, Kay's totally right, they will haunt Head-On for a little bit, and she's going to need to work mentally to recover from what happened on this back 9, because this was hers to win, standing on that 11th tee box.
And Lauren Coughlin was in the different position. She was in the lead a couple of Sundays ago. Today, a different story. She took the lead and went on to cap it off with his 2-putt par at the 18th to win it by 2. A victory that all but cements her place on the U.S. Solheim Cup team. That's one of the perks. But, Morgan, the victory, that's what it's about for Lauren, isn't it? You can hear it.
One of her biggest goals this year was playing on the Solheim Cup team, and they knew in order to do that, you got to win, got to make it on your own. And she's just about done that here this week.
Let the champagne flow for Team Coughlin. Coming up next, Golf Central, and then the Portland Classic begins 6 o'clock Eastern Time on Golf Channel. Thanks to everyone who made this such a special week. Our producer, Jesse West, director, John Del Vecchio, and their incredible team of technicians bringing you the sights and sounds from the CPKC Women's Open. For Morgan Pressel, Trip Eisenhower, Kay Cockrell, and all of us, I'm Grant Boone. Congratulations, Lauren Coughlin. The long journey is over. You're a winner on the LPGA Tour.